Well, Donald Trump made what was probably his most specific speech this week, and the focus was on the economy and trade. Now, the speech signaled what would be one of the most dramatic changes in U.S. economic policy in many decades. But how realistic is it? This is a reality check you won't see anywhere else.
NAFTA was the worst trade deal in the history. It's like the history of this country. And China's entrance into the World Trade Organization has enabled the greatest job theft in the history of our country.
Now, Donald Trump there speaking at an aluminum plant in Pennsylvania this week. Trump attacked trade deals like the TPP, NAFTA, and China's manipulation of currency. Certainly, it was a populist message. Today, I'm giving 3 of Trump's statements a reality check.
When subsidized foreign steel is dumped into our markets, threatening our factories, the politicians have proven, folks, they do nothing.
Well, so President Trump would make sure that steel used to build American buildings comes from America. But as a businessman who has built many skyscrapers, Trump hasn't always done that. According to Wayne Barrett's Trump, the Deals and the Downfall from 1991, Trump actually chose to build Trump Tower with concrete instead of Pennsylvania steel because the cost was too high. Durr Scott, the architect for the project, explains that Trump decided not to use steel to save money, saying, quote, "When you change steel, you have to send it back to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and it comes back 5 weeks later. To do it in steel would have been prohibitively expensive."
Hillary Clinton was totally for the TPP just a short while ago. But when she saw my stance, which is totally against, she was shamed into saying she would be against it too.
Well, Trump went on to talk about the trade deal that is the Trans-Pacific Partnership. He says he was on the side of Brexit and Hillary Clinton is not. And that's true. He also says that he has been opposed to the TPP and that Clinton, before she was against it, was for it. That's also true. In fact, at least 45 times, yes, 45, Clinton praised the Trans-Pacific Partnership before she decided that she is against it. Just one example here, big or small, we're standing up for an economic system that benefits everyone when our negotiators ensure that the new Trans-Pacific Partnership requires that state-owned enterprises compete under the same rules as private companies. And finally is the issue of NAFTA. Trump says that he will renegotiate NAFTA, and if other nations are unwilling to do so, then he will exercise his authority to end the U.S. participation in NAFTA. NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, it was signed by President Clinton. Trump is connecting Hillary Clinton to NAFTA, but historically, while it's important that while Clinton signed NAFTA, it was pushed and created by George H.W. Bush. Trump calls NAFTA the worst trade deal in history, and maybe it is.
This wave of globalization has wiped out totally our middle class. It doesn't have to be this way. We can turn it around, and we can turn it around fast.
So what you need to know here is whether or not you like Donald Trump or you loathe him. It is an irrefutable fact that the outsourcing of jobs in manufacturing over the past 30 years has without question destroyed America's middle class. NAFTA, it caused a direct outsourcing of more than 700,000 American jobs. But folks, NAFTA did much more than that because it also created the framework for other trade deals like CAFTA. NAFTA's principles were applied to the World Trade Organization and to the policies of the World Bank and the IMF. And those principles created the framework under which employers of China's huge supply of low-wage workers were allowed access to U.S. markets in exchange for allowing American multinational corporations the right to invest there. And again, who's at fault for the disaster that is NAFTA? A Republican president who created the framework, a Democratic president who signed it. That's Reality Check. Let's talk about that tonight on Twitter.